Good afternoon. I'm Narod. I'm here to speak to you today about Jewish leadership and the need for a new model in the 21st century. I've been honored to be an active part and a leader in our Jewish community for over 30 years. During that time, I've been a member twice on the board of the Jewish Federation. I've been chair of the Israel and Overseas Committee. I've been president of the JCC for a number of years, on the board of my synagogue, and multiple other positions. One could say I'm very involved in the Jewish community. One could also say that I'm about as much part of the establishment as it counts. So what needs to be changed in leadership in our Jewish world? It's all about inclusion. Take a look at the diversity in our Jewish nation. Our Jewish nation is not made up of one ethnic group, but many. We come in different colors, we come in from different places, with different backgrounds. Serving the Jewish community in a way that maximizes its potential for all involved has never been an easy task. We always joke that when you have two Jews, you always have three opinions. Among two Jewish leaders, you actually could have 4 or 5 opinions. As time goes on, it's so easy to be lulled into a feeling that one's organization is doing fine the way it is and does not need to change with the times. According to research such as in the Pew Report, young Jewish people don't affiliate in the same ways and as in large numbers as they have in previous generations. Finding a new model of leadership to correct this and other trends are timely and critical. Recently, it occurred to me that one could be a member of a nonprofit board or a committee for decades and never really acknowledge who makes up the cohort of those in the room with you and who gets to make the decisions that affect everybody in the Jewish community. Being a lay leader for many years and now working as the executive director of Clark Hillel and other colleges in our area in Central Mass, I find myself thinking a lot about how to grow our circles of involvement and leadership in our Jewish community and specifically at Hillel. I never really thought about how much I resembled everyone around the board table and how homogeneous our leadership is at our Jewish Federation. Who are we? White, middle class, older, straight, of Eastern European Jewish descent. Of course, there are some exceptions, but we really don't represent the actual makeup of the Jewish community as a whole. It has become apparent that historically our community, like others in the country, have been somewhat narrow-minded in terms of who we bring in to communal life and who we move towards leadership positions. It's certainly a lot easier to attract people like ourselves in our organizations. Perhaps it's easier because there are folks that we are friends with, that live on our street, whose children go to the same schools that ours do, or perhaps just the people that we feel more comfortable with because they're in our own age group, they share our political views, they're at the same religious level as we are, maybe the same race. According to Jim Collins, in his book, Good to Great in the Social Sector, he asserts that in building a good organization, it is key to get the right people on the bus. And greatness, furthermore, flows from having the right people in the key seats on that bus. It's become apparent to me that many potential board members outside our normal mode are not usually nominated and certainly never make it to those key seats. Of course, the nominating committees made up of people already in the club select other nominees who are in the club from a very narrow pool of people who are already part of the organization. Often, they are past JCC and synagogue presidents, they are wealthy business persons, attorneys, physicians, accountants, large donors, people of a very specific kind of ilk and space. It's my belief that to maintain a thriving Jewish community, we must reach people where they are and be inclusive. So who are these right people that Collins refers to, that we have systematically barred from the bus because they have not met our mold and narrow criteria for being invited in? How much has our community lost because of this? How much do we gain by broadening our horizon? Our Federation Board makeup hasn't changed much in recent years, except for the addition of a few younger folks. We have no new people in terms of Jews of color and Jews from countries other than Eastern Europe, backgrounds, LGBTQ leaders, political activists, and the like. Thankfully, we do have a new adult division called Yad and a young leadership group that gives an opportunity for young people to get together socially, to work for good causes, and hopefully will become involved in Federation and will be our future leaders. This is only an opening attempt to include a diverse group of young people. Clark University, where I am now the director, is a great example, I believe, of inclusive Jewish leadership and involvement, and is considered to be the center of Jewish life on our campus. Hillels are student-run, and they're a great place for young Jewish adults to have new experiences in Jewish leadership that someday can lead them to be the next generation of leaders in our adult community. This is a great place to start if we wanted to broaden the base of future leaders in the 21st century and to engage diverse groups of young adults to join in regardless of who they are or how they lean. Clark University Hillel has made great efforts in areas of diversity and focuses very strongly on creating programming that are interesting to Jewish students of color, LGBTQ, Mizrahi students, as well as unaffiliated folks, and brings them into the fold. Our past student president last year at Hillel identifies as LGBTQ. Our latest president, who just came on board, is our first trans person to occupy that role. He is extremely excited, and so are we. Our committed Hillel students engage regularly and reach out to students who fit many different Jewish molds. Some who have had much Jewish experience, some who really have not been connected in the past. These students represent folks who are left-wing, who are right-wing, who are Orthodox, who are conservative or Reform. They might be white, they might be brown, they might be black. Regardless, students and leaders at Hillel engage with them in the hope that they will not only become involved, but they will become next year's leaders. I personally have learned that leadership can come from anywhere, and that leaders are not born, they are made. Student leaders are elected according to their stated goals and platforms and their desires for making the community better. In the past few years, many leaders have emerged and flourished without having had any past leadership experience. According to Torah, as explained by Dr. Hal Lewis in his book From Sanctuary to Boardroom, everyone is a leader in the Jewish people. All Jewish people are understood to be part of Mamlechet Kohanim, the kingdom of priests, an entire nation of people capable of leading. Increased numbers of Jews simply choosing to ignore or bypass the organized communal infrastructure. Many of today's Jews see no reason to connect formally with the Jewish community. At Hillel, we are trying to give students a reason to connect. It is my hope that continued partnerships underway between Hillel and our Federation and other partners will bring together all our potential young leaders with adult Federation members from all walks of life through shared activities, shared meetings, and will set an example of what a strong community led by successful and diverse leaders can look like.